हमें सबसे चीज़ जो पहले इम्पॉर्टेंट है वो अपने माइंड में रखनी होती है कि हम पोजीशन कौन सी है जिसके लिए हम इवेलुएट कर रहे हैं। व्हेन वी इंटरव्यू फॉर द एंट्री लेवल पोजीशन तो हमें बहुत रॉ टैलेंट आता है। बाहर यूनिवर्सिटीज़ होती हैं, उनका जो करियर ऑफिस होता है वो बहुत स्ट्रांग होता है। ये जो जनरेशन है इसका चैलेंज ये है कि अब उसको अगर कोई चीज़ एक्साइट नहीं करती, दे टेक इमीडिएट डिसीजन। अगर आपने 20 लाख 30 लाख 50 लाख अपनी एजुकेशन पे लगाए तो आपकी वैल्यू वैसी ही है ऑटोमेटिकली, बट ऐसा नहीं है।
आज आपको मैं एक इंपॉर्टेंट मैसेज और दे रहा हूं, ये लिख के आप अपने पास रख लें। जो लोग आपको कहते हैं ना कि आप दुनिया के फारिग तरीन आदमी हैं, जो लोग आपको कहते हैं कि आप नाकाम हो जाएंगे, ज़िंदगी में कभी कुछ नहीं कर सकेंगे, आपने इन लोगों के सामने बोलना नहीं है। अब आप शायद हैरान होकर सुन रहे होंगे कि हसन रज़ा हमें ये कह रहा है कि आपने इन लोगों के सामने बोलना नहीं है। मैं बिल्कुल ठीक कह रहा हूँ आपको, आपने इन लोगों के सामने बोलना नहीं है, क्योंकि अगर आप बोलेंगे ना तो कुछ लोग सुनेंगे। आपने इन लोगों के सामने कामयाब होकर दिखाना है। जिस दिन आप कामयाब हो जाएंगे, ये लोग आपकी अपनी पूरी फैमिली में या इर्द गिर्द हर जगह आपकी मिसालें दे रहे होंगे और कहेंगे यार ये वो बंदा है जो मेरे साथ बैठता था, जो मेरे साथ बात करता था। इसके लिए आपको बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, कामयाब होकर दिखाना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि जब आप कामयाब हो जाएंगे ना तब सारी दुनिया सुनेगी।
ये सेशंस को अपलोड करना शुरू किया, लेक्चर्स की शक्ल में थे, इंटरव्यूज की शक्ल में थे। हसन रज़ा साहब हमारे बड़े अच्छे एक रिसोर्स हैं। हसन रज़ा साहब फाउंडेशन के एचआर को हेड कर रहे हैं। ये बड़े अच्छे कंसल्टेंट हैं, 22-23 साल का उनका एक्सपीरियंस है सर्विस शूज का, पेल का, बड़े बड़े इदारों में सर्व करते रहे। तो हसन रज़ा साहब ने इस प्रोजेक्ट को लीड किया और एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री बना दी। वो डॉक्यूमेंट्री यूट्यूब पे पड़ी हुई है। इस आज की जो इंटरव्यू वीडियो है इसके साथ लिंक भी मिल जाएगा। उस डॉक्यूमेंट्री को बनाने के बाद हमने उसे जब पब्लिक किया तो सब ने फीडबैक दिया कि सर ये अवेयरनेस कैंपेन बननी चाहिए, लोगों को पता लगना चाहिए कि डिमांड क्या है, चाहिए क्या, स्किल्स कौन सी चाहिए, किस तरह का ह्यूमन रिसोर्स चाहिए।
Auz billah himine shaitan rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello, assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Hassan Raza, the founder of Pep Talk Pakistan. Thank you for joining us today's show, where I always bring amazing people who are going to help you, inspire you passionately. Let's discuss about today's session. We will be having this session in one medium, and that is English, because our today guest is from United Kingdom. She is a well-known, a very great personality. My today guest is phenomenal. Joining us today, a top-notch professional of the world and an amazing and visionary. You know, when I say amazing, I mean it. She is accelerating long-term growth in female executives, CEOs, and high-profile leading women through feminine insight of strength to leave trail legacy forever through generation of powerful women using celebrity formula. Yes, celebrity formula. Well, I'm also curious about it, that what is celebrity formula. Will definitely ask to her. You know what's special about her? She is always ready to help job seekers. I have seen many posts of our guests on social media, particularly on LinkedIn, who went viral. She strongly believes that the distance between you and everything you want is only a one communication away. As you listen to her story, you will notice the power in your own voice. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about today's guest, and her name is Tanya Carr. We will definitely invite her. We will definitely put her. But let me introduce my co-host. His name is Asif Afzal. He will be leading this show. So let's invite Tanya Carr. Tanya, welcome on board. Thank you very much for joining us.
Wow, Hassan, that is an amazing introduction. I'm so humbled and I feel energized by your spirit and your ability to energize the people on this program. And I'm definitely going to meet that energy and empower your audience and fire them up and ignite them to levels of success in their life and in their jobs. So I'm ready.
Great, wonderful. And by the way, I am super duper excited, and I'm excited that this session is going to be a wonderful session. So let's request Asif Afzal to lead this session, and I'll be joining back to you. Okay, Tanya, best of luck. You will rock the floor, and I know that. Asif, can you unmute your mic? We are unable to listen you properly. Okay, so this is happening in live session, so I'm used to it. Mhm. No, we can't listen you. The same issue that we had in a last session. Okay, so let me take the initiative. So let me start it. So you will definitely join us back. Okay, so Tanya will definitely will be talking about on the topic, and topic is very interesting. How to become the celebrity in your own profession. We have to learn from it, so we can learn from you as well. So first of all, we'd like to know about your success story. Who is Tanya Carr and how you have landed in this profession?
Yes, well, it basically starts off with a very sad story. And I think you won't get the proper, honest, powerful preciousness of what my formula Celebrate is if you don't hear the story. So I would like to just say that it starts off with 3 years ago, my husband passed away tragically and quickly and shockingly. And with that death came a domino effect of distress and stress, which basically led to a lot of emotional trauma in my life. I was then.
Oh, sorry.
Hello?
Oh, sorry.
Are we there? Are we there?
So please continue. Go ahead. Go ahead. Please continue.
Okay. My apologies. So yes, with my husband's passing away and the tragedy of how he passed away and so quickly, it caused me to go into a lot of depression. And not only that, I lost my house, I lost my dignity. There was an investigation, there was an inquest into the death. There was. I love my husband so much. I've known my husband from when I was 16 years old. I got married to him when I was 20. We had 24 years of marriage. And so to lose my best friend, my partner, my soulmate, my coach, my mentor, my whole world was basically pulled out from under me. And you can imagine being in a foreign country. And the unfortunate thing was I discovered that I didn't have many friends as well who would stick by me in the way that I needed them to stick by me and to support me. So living in another country, a foreign country, lost my husband, lost my house, lost my dignity, an inquest, an investigation, all within a year. And I went into depression and I had to go on to antidepressants. And this was 2019, just before COVID. But round about 2019, December, I decided that I'm either going to carry on this way and eventually die myself in all this darkness, or I'm going to pick myself up. And so I started to develop this formula called Celebrate, and I decided to celebrate everything. I just decided to celebrate everything in my life, from the fact that I could see, the fact that I could still hear. And then I started using my senses more. What more could I see? What more could I hear? And so when I used to go through to walks, I used to go outside and have walks during COVID. And, we were in isolation. I was grieving alone. Sorry.
I totally get that. It's a bit emotional.
It is. But I have to do this for the audience to see that no matter what you go through, isolation, darkness, depression, you can get out of it. So getting back to my walk, I started using my eyes more and saying, what can I see? What can I celebrate more? What can I hear? And I got this formula called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I would make sure every time I went out for a walk, I would see 5 things, make sure I look at those things in depth and feel the beauty from it, and then just celebrate the nature of it. And then 4 things, hear 4 things: the birds, the wind, the silence. During COVID and going out for the walks, there was just this eerie silence, wasn't there? There was no cars, there was no trucks, there was no trains, there was no airplanes. There was just this silence, and that can scare you when you're alone, you're grieving, you're in depression, the silence. But I started to embrace the silence and celebrate that, and then to feel things and to literally touch the petals, feel the sensations, the velvetness, the velvetiness, and then to smell the fragrances, the scent, and then to basically just use all the senses, the eyes, the nose, and then when you're eating, to savor the moment. And so I started to celebrate more, and this became a habit every day, doing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it became part of my life. And I thought, well, this is helping me. I'm celebrating using my own senses. I hardly have money. I don't have my partner with me, my lover, my husband. But I started looking within, and the more I looked within, I felt this beautiful feminine energy just emanating and getting stronger and stronger. And I started then journaling and writing down the formula, writing down all these things. And then sometimes you can have emotions, especially when you're grieving and there's no word. I don't know if in your language there's specific words for death and for grieving and the weird feelings you go through. And so I started to find words that can help me express myself. And I found something interesting that I was celebrating too, which is going to sound really weird and strange, is to celebrate the actual pain you're in. Because I felt when I was leaning into my pain, the grief and all the betrayal of friends and the loneliness and the isolation, I started to lean into that and to find ways to accept and acknowledge. And so I wrote down formulas on how to do that. And so at the end of 2020, I had this formula called Celebrate, which is an acronym, basically. And I didn't know I had it. I didn't know it was actually an acronym as such. But then when I started putting it together with a coach, I had the wonderful opportunity to be involved with a coach in February who trained me to put this into a way to actually help people. And so we basically felt that in order to help the public, in order to help people who's going through grieving, who wants to accelerate their growth, who wants to be more feminine and use this wisdom and be stronger to get you through trauma, this formula would help you. So it's an acronym, CELEBRATE, and each letter stands for one module, and each module is backed up by pillars. So say, for example, the L in Celebrate stands for, wait for it, liquid gold confidence. Not just confidence. Yeah, not just confidence. It's liquid gold confidence. This flowing, luminous, radiant river that will, emanate from a woman. So I teach her through that module, the L, to gain this liquid gold confidence, because I don't know if you know, with liquid gold, in order for gold to become pure, they actually boil it. So all the dross.
I know.
Yeah, so all the dross.
Because it's in its purest form at that time. When the liquid gold, when you say liquid gold, it's in its purest form at that time. So what I can get from it is that it's the original you.
spot on. You know what? You've hit the nail on the head. You've got it. You've exactly got it. And also it reflects, doesn't it?
Yep,
It's
I agree.
reflecting. It's reflecting all these beautiful qualities. And so your reflection of who you are at your purest state reflects into your confidence, because you can't just learn confidence in a college or a university.
Of
It,
course.
it has to be backed up by all these things. And so that's what I learned from being at rock bottom, how to get this liquid gold confidence and to be not fake. Because there's, you can fake confidence. They say it in English. What's it? Fake it till you make it.
Oh yeah, that's
But
something very famous.
yes, but no, with liquid gold confidence, it comes from thrilling experience of life, tenacity, strong spiritual, sparkling solidness. You know.
So,
Oh, thank you.
Vanya, first of all, I would what I like to share is the way that you started. Honestly, the things, the way that you described everything in your life, I have been, I am a COVID survivor actually myself, so I can actually totally relate to the depression and everything, and the time period that I had to go through my isolation. Even though my kids are right now, my kids are around me, but at that time they had to stay away from me. So I can totally relate to that, and I totally agree with you that
Thank
when
you.
and I honestly, you have my full sympathy and that. But the thing is that sympathy and empathy, these are something that can relate to some extent, but it only can be described by the person who goes through it.
Indeed, those are my thoughts exactly. And I didn't want to find success and be successful. Then I developed my life coaching through it. I wanted to empower other women and to give them increased strength to find this healthy hardiness, but not in an aggressive way, but in a way that's feminine but strong, because you can be feminine, but you also can be strong. It's kind of like, when I was saying to you earlier, I would do my walks and I would look at it. I saw this pupa of obviously a caterpillar that was changing into a butterfly. And, it hit me. It hit me that you have to die and lose something and yourself, a part of yourself, to become something better. And that's what
Exactly. Wow.
thank you. And I thought I've lost, when Don died, I lost me. I lost who I was. Um, and I thought, wow, but if this caterpillar had to die and lose itself and become more free and more beautiful, I'm going to use that. I'm going to be free to help other people. I'm going to be free of depression. Oh my goodness, I came with my antidepressants. I didn't tell the doctor. I just came with them, which was I don't recommend that because the withdrawal symptoms were really bad. But the strength of knowing that I'm going to have wings to fly, I'm going to be
Yeah.
beautiful, but I'm going to get freedom from all this, and I'm going to fly out there, and I'm going to teach and help and inspire and ignite this in other
Yeah.
women and even men.
Yeah, and that if I can say that this is the basic philosophy of self-realization and self-actualization at the same time. That you just have to lose yourself for once, and then you go on a path of discovery. It's a totally new road, and you just find out things. You just find out abilities that you have never even thought that you had. But the things are there, and you
Yeah.
discover, and it's the, that particular turn in the road, although it has the turn has always been there, it has come up again and again, but something like that you were always afraid to take that road, but once you take it, it's a whole new world out there. Yeah,
Yes.
it's really beautiful.
Yeah, do you know what? Those are my sentiments exactly. Just know that when you're in that mess, like the pupa of that caterpillar turning into a butterfly, when you're in
Yeah,
that mess, know that there's something better.
yeah,
There's something more beautiful for you and for others out there. And a seed, when you plant a seed in the ground, this
yeah,
is what's
yeah,
so beautiful with nature. It has to
yeah,
die. It has to change its identity to grow into this huge tree. But this tree is going to supply shade. It's going to supply a home. It's going to supply food. And that's what my coaching is all about. I had to die and develop into this tree of life coaching to give life, to give that shade, to give that ability for people to empower themselves to survive better in this horrible world we live in.
yeah. And that is why the thing is that this is something really famous that I live by. My whole life is actually based around that. That
Really?
the past is already gone,
Yeah,
and the future you don't know what is gonna happen. This is why
absolutely.
what we have is beautiful, and it's called a present. It's a
Yes,
gift. Enjoy it. Okay,
I love
and
that.
yeah, and the beautiful thing about people like yourself is the best thing is that you actually took the initiative. You reached out to people and try and always try to help them, make them realize that this is not the end. This is just the beginning, and this is the where you
Yeah,
have to go from the here. Like really, the things that you just said. Honestly, I was just able to imagine the way you said that the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I was actually really myself imagining you walking down a park. It's a park. The lake is on the left, and there are some benches on the right. It's all green, and there are trees and birds and the birds in the trees and chirping around, and maybe
yeah.
some people walking around there with their pets, with their dogs and cats and everything. And this is something so beautiful and so calming and so it brings so much peace to your mind at that time that this is something that actually transports you to another place.
And you know what? It'll change your life. If if
Yep.
if anybody in the audience can just take those few moments and look at 5 things, hear 4 things, smell, 3 things, the fragrances, touch, 2 things, and then just when you're eating or savoring or think of your, a lovely meal that you had, you can conjure up these luscious thoughts and this delicious, delightful, delectable things, and you build this happiness and you celebrate. That's right. This is how we must see the world. It's so important. And I teach this because you know what? I coach executive directors, executive assistants, CEOs. These are highly qualified, strong women. In a matter of fact, I only coach those who have better abilities than me, because at the end of the day, I learn from them.
Exactly.
But these women forget sometimes to self-care. And self-care is not always about having a facial, having your nails done. It's about, like you said, taking the gift of the present
Yeah.
and extracting the juice of life. And you can't do that if you don't use your senses, you know. So important because our hands are actually an extension to our soul. And so
Yeah.
when we use
Exactly.
our hands and we touch things and we feel things, different things, flowers, stems. Oh, thank you. My mom has just said, "You're my beautiful daughter." Oh, I wouldn't be beautiful without you, Mom. I love you. Isn't that lovely? My mom is supporting me all the way from South Africa.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So, yeah. So it's important to extract the juice out of life, and especially executive. They work so hard. They're advocating. They have to report to the board. The shareholders. It's such a responsibility. Some of them are mothers. Some of them have to go home to a husband. When do they have time for themselves? Just take the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I don't know if you want me to do an engaging exercise with the audience. I do what I call the ballerina block breathe. I don't know if you want me to do it with you.
No, I'm too big to be doing a ballerina.
Well, if the ladies are home, the ballerina block breathe hones you in on your femininity, and it just goes like this. You do 4 breathes in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it in the ballerina style up there for 4, and bring it down, and then you give yourself a hug, and you give yourself a nice warm hug, and it actually releases dopamine, it releases serotonin, and this helps you to be motivated and hone in on your feminine energy, to help you to be stronger and to create and innovate. Try it. It's breathe in, 4, hold, and down. Give yourself a hug and a good old rub, and celebrate you. You are worthy of being celebrated. You're an amazing woman.
And even if Dwayne The Rock Johnson can do this, guys, it's not a shame. So rub yourself at least once, hug yourself, rub yourself at least once. So just get the energy flowing, just get the positivity in your life, just get the positive messages, the vibes in there, and honestly, your life is going to change.
Do you know what? I hope I'm not seeing bias, but I don't know how men feel, but I know how women feel, and I know how to hone into women. But if like, thank you for that input that men can also do that. So I've learned something. As I say, I'm open to be taught.
Well, honestly, now since a lot of our audience is Pakistani and a lot of people are Punjabi, so we have another way of expression. So we actually we don't learn dancing, but we dance our house out.
We call that specific hug is called a jappi, and there is a different type of jappi in different cities. I mean, if we can visit Gujranwala, we can have a lot of jappis, So great. By the way, it's a great conversation. I really enjoyed the whole discussion. Great. Please continue. Please continue. Okay.
I'm gonna have to remember that. I'm gonna write that down, because if I come to Pakistan, do women get jappies? Are we allowed to get jappies?
Yeah,
Okay.
women can get jappies to women, and that does not have any cultural bars.
Okay,
But,
that's interesting.
across genders, it's disliked.
Of course, yes, I appreciate that. So the countries we go. Thank you. Somebody says they love me. I love you too, and I know that you're all beautiful people, and I wish I could meet every single one of you. But I believe that I have met you, because I feel your energy, I feel your love, even though I'm so far away. And I just hope that anything I'm saying, or everything I'm saying, is reaching deep into your soul to ignite you, to make you passionate about being a woman, a mother,
Exactly.
working. I celebrate you, and celebrate yourself, because it's all about being feminine. Because feminine, I mean, when you look at anybody who's celebrating, they're happy, they're not depressed.
Exactly.
You can find anything to celebrate. I heard from Jim Quick. I love Jim Quick. He said, be grateful for the problems you don't have. And that is just powerful, because if you sit down and think of the problems you don't have, you become more grateful for your life. And sometimes we actually need to journal, which is another thing. I teach women. I teach women to write. I don't know if men like to do this, but I don't know if you know this, and I hope you don't mind me saying, but have you noticed how much women speak? We speak a lot.
Please don't do that. Please don't put me in a place. Because right now, my mom's here, my wife's here, and my 2 daughters are here. Please don't put us in that place.
You're a very clever man. I love that. I love that. Girls, don't you agree? That's a good answer. Thumbs up. We celebrate you. Okay, as a woman, I will say we talk a lot. And I have a reason why we talk a lot. Because the more we talk, the more we become energized. But the more a man has to listen to this, the less energized he becomes. So, right. Right.
No, that's not the case with me. At least I cannot say anything about Hassan, but that's not the case with me. I actually have been a good listener all my life. I have been listening to my mom and now my kid's mom. This,
Uh,
and
I'm going to second you, Asif, and I think that your my wife is also watching this show, so I have to be very careful on it. And
I'm
by the
stirring. I'm stirring. Yeah, no, it's a fact of life. And when we look at the facts and we accept the facts that men and women are different, and we embrace that difference, but sometimes the differences can cause stress in a woman because she can't. Her husband's busy or he's got lots of things to do. She just wants to talk, and he sometimes is too tired. So the fact of life is that it gets to a woman if she can't talk, and if she doesn't talk and talk and get all these things out, it can make her very ill. So if I'm just saying, and it's just a suggestion, that if women find that they can't talk to for any reason, their male partner or their husband or their boss, it's to journal, because the reason why journaling, and it's not just writing down all the good stuff, it's writing down the bad stuff. I mean, I've got like 10 journals from the last like 4 years. So if anybody read those, yes, I've got like 10, they're huge journals. And it's because there was no one to talk to. My husband was gone. I was lost. I was in COVID. And the only thing I had was my books to journal. So if anybody ever reads those journals, they will probably just think I'm a horrible person, because you just write down all the villain side of you. Because women, we get these villain type feelings because we're frustrated, because we're not being heard, we're not being noticed, we're not being understood, and we're not being appreciated. And even though men and other women do love us, appreciate us, it's just sometimes we go through what we call the imposter syndrome. And the imposter syndrome can take over. Journal, because it slows your brain down. You go back a week later and you go, what was that all about?
yeah, I do understand that, because sometimes, yes, it does happen that maybe when even you're actually trying to relate to something, and the situation kind of gets out of hand. The reason being that it's so many things all up over there at the same time, and it actually gets you into a hassle. So yes, writing that down in a journal and then actually revisiting it, and it actually gives you a moment to think about yourself, how to react, so that it actually at the back of your mind, it is a process. I am actually very much into the human anatomy and psyche also, since I have been into human resources for more than 17 years now. So
Wow.
yeah. So
Wow.
in
That's so
particular,
impressive. Yes,
I
I'm so impressed.
actually, thank you. So I actually went down and read a few books on human psychology, body
Uh-huh.
languages, gestures, facial expressions, and that
Yeah.
has actually helped me a lot in the career, and actually trying to help men maintain my team, just having a look at them, just getting them in. And the best idea is that the best thing about my team is that there are no restrictions of any kind. They just come up to me, they walk up to me, sit down with me, and unofficially, I'm the office psychologist also. So,
Great.
so
So we are lucky enough that we do have two wonderful guests with us, Tanya and Asif. I mean, you were amazing. And by the way, I'm sorry for interruption, Asif, and apologies for that. But we have to wrap up this session. We are getting some questions from the audience. So,
Okay.
Tanya, so first of all, we'd like to know about it that you are training some kind of some professionals, some CEOs. So, what do you think that what is the success for them? Success.
Well, when I coach different executives or CEOs or business owners, success means different things to different people. So some in the business might say success is earning a lot of money or millions, but earning money in your business is a result. It's a result, not the actual success. The success comes from the person you become on the journey to get there, the development that you've developed within yourself, the talents that you've realized you didn't have, the courage you realized you didn't have, the graciousness, the hardiness, the harmony, all these qualities that you didn't know. That's more important than the actual money. So it depends what success is to the person and where they want to go. So with each person that gets coached, because a coach is not someone who's going to tell you what to do. He's not someone who's going to take away your decision-making process. It's someone who's going to be like a friend. They're going to be there, support you, give you ideas, strategies. And the beautiful thing about the people that I work with, and I'm sure the people you work with, the dynamic thing is that everybody has it in here. They just need somebody to give them the strong hand, the strategy, the skill, or the reminder. Because sometimes you forget, don't you? You just forget, like, oh, I used to be courageous, or I used to face my fears, or I'm suffering a bit with burnout. And then your coach can reflect back to you where you are, where you want to be, where you want to go, and what you want to do in your life.
That's great. That is really
great. Wonderful. So let's have a rapid fire segment. Are you ready, Tanya, for the rapid fire segment?
Nah, he's dangerous. Be careful.
It's
dangerous.
going to be very interesting. Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting, right? So so let me go through the rules again with you, understand.
Sure.
You're gonna ask me rapid fire questions like it's speed war, and I need to answer.
We're gonna. Yeah. So we're gonna ask some very interesting question to you, and you need to answer it. Okay?
Okay, I'll try.
So. Okay. So the first question is as an emerging professional coach, what keeps you up at night?
Nothing. I don't stay up at night unless I'm looking at my social media to see who's interacting with my posts.
Okay. Very interesting answer so far. So I have asked these questions to many people, but never ever I got this answer. Thank you very much. By the way, you're unique. So that's.
Thank you. I represent that remark.
Actually, I would like to add here. This is basically a representation that you get a peaceful night's sleep. You have a contented heart. Yeah. Your conscience is at peace. Actually, you are at peace with yourself.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wonderful. So I think that I'm conducting the session of two motivational speakers, two coaches. So great, but you both are on the same pace. So I'm enjoying it.
I admire you. You're handling us fabulously and positively.
Great, wonderful. So next question is that who is your inspiration to be a coach?
Who's my inspiration? Definitely Jim Quick.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Great. Okay, the third question is very interesting. The question is that a stranger's first impression of yours would be?
Of me?
Yeah. stranger's impression. For example, Asif just saw you and said, "Oh my gosh, oh, this is the impression that Asif that we had from that time." So, what do you think that?
Magnetic.
Magnetic. Okay, that's great. That's great. So the fourth question is that what are your biggest strength?
My biggest strength, I would say, is to see through things.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I can see through. I can see through people. I can see through things, and it's actually, it can be a weakness.
Yeah.
So my strength can be a weakness.
Okay. So the next question is that if we have to automate you and ask you to keep one human quality, what should that be? What
Love.
human quality?
Love.
Oh wow, amazing, great.
It's so beautiful.
Wonderful.
Love.
Okay, so next question is that what the most used app on your smartphone? Don't tell me it's WhatsApp. Don't tell me it's WhatsApp.
No, I would say it's either between Instagram or LinkedIn.
Oh wow, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question is that what superpower do you think that you have? Superpower.
Feminine.
Amazing.
Oh wow. Yes,
Great.
of course. Without a doubt.
The final question. What excites you and motivates you in your role?
I would definitely say helping people to be empowered by who they really are and their passion. So whatever their passion is, I want to help them ignite that and change their world and the world around them. That's my deepest passion.
Great. Thank you very much, Tanya, for your time. You were an amazing speaker. We have asked a lot of questions to Tanya. Yes, she was amazing and phenomenal. In case do you have any question, you can write down in the comment as well. You can also follow Tanya Carr on social media, particularly on LinkedIn. You will learn a lot of things from her. Again, thank you very much, Tanya, for your valuable time. We'd love to have you again in the future. You were amazing and superb in the whole session. I really enjoyed it.
I can't thank you. I can't thank you enough, both of you. It's been fun and it's been energizing. And if I may just have some parting words to the audience, if I may.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Take your passion and make it happen. And I can help you.
Great, wonderful, amazing. Asif, thank you very much for your time too. I mean, you have done a tremendous job. You were an amazing host as well. So thank you very much for your time.
And thank you as well.
Thank you, Tanya. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you very much for watching the episode of Pep Talk Pakistan today. You all were amazing and superb. And please do share your feedback with us so we can improve accordingly. And we will definitely invite Tanya in our upcoming session as well. So thank you again.
And to Pakistan as well.
Yeah, in Pakistan. Yeah, proud Pakistan.
And definitely. And I can't wait to give the ladies a Jupi. Is it a Jupi hug?
Okay, guys. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
क्राइम और ऑफेंस है, अब ये साइबर पे आ गया, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक पे आ गया है। तो फेसबुक फेक आईडी बनाना इटसेल्फ इज अ क्राइम। फेक आईडी बना के आपने बुली करना है, वो भी अगर रिपोर्ट हो जाए तो एक जुर्म में तलाक हो गई है तो जो है रिवेंज निकालना है तो अपनी वाइफ की पिक्चर्स है वो लीक कर देना। स्कूल के बच्चों को तो फोन यूज करना इजाजत ही नहीं होनी चाहिए। पेरेंट्स को ये समझाना चाहिए कि ये एक ऑफेंस है और लॉ में इसमें हर बंदा लायबल होगा। बहुत सारे ऐसे केसेस हुए हैं जिसमें लोगों ने सुसाइड लड़कियों ने कर लिया। ब्लैकमेलर जो हिमसेल्फ होता है वो साइकोलॉजिकली एक हैबिचुअल ऑफेंडर होता है। एक दफा उसकी डिमांड पूरी करेंगे वो बार बार उसको कंटिन्यू करेगा। उनको पता नहीं है, लोग समझते हैं कि पुलिस के पास जाना है, FIA काम कर रहा है इसके ऊपर बहुत ज्यादा। जब वो एविडेंस जमा हो जाता है तो वो मीनवाइल अरेस्ट हो जाता है, उससे डेटा ले लिया जाता है और डेटा रिमूव किया जाता है।